The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, callers, and advisors on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2026. All rights reserved.
Coming up tonight, many of you are questioning the new licensing fee structure at the Department of Road Traffic. Tonight, we take a look at it and ask, how will the additional revenue improve efficiency in the department? Princess Margaret Hospital's Accident and Emergency Department looking more like a pond this weekend. Heavy rains caused flooding in the area. Tonight, the story behind the immigration officer who walked into Kelly's home center, stuffed his bag with 3 sheet sets, walked out the door, all reportedly with thousands of dollars on him. Things that make you go, This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. New rules, new fees, new questions. The Department of Road Traffic is rolling out changes to vehicle licensing and inspections. But are the reforms about improving road safety, increasing efficiency, or placing a heavier burden on motorists? Tonight, we speak to that topic that has sparked a lot of talk and new measures as well to ensure that jet ski operators are offering nothing more than a good ride to tourists. A focus on the Ministry of Transport tonight. We're going to discuss these issues with the Deputy Controller in the Department of Road Traffic, Marvin Wilson, and the Controller of the Port Department, Captain Byrne Wright. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you both here.
Good evening. Thank you for having us.
It's good to have you both here. I'll tell you, a lot of discussion has been happening and people are not fully understanding what is it that the Department of Road Traffic is aiming to do. This is where we'll start this evening's discussion. What is it that the Department of Road Traffic is aiming to do with introducing licensing fees that reflect, I guess, weight of vehicles? Deputy Controller Wilson, can you get tonight's discussion started now and talk about what is being proposed or what's on the table?
I would say a comprehensive study was on the go, and we would have taken a look at the various type of vehicles that we have in the country. Presently, we now have 3 categories, A, B, and C. And with the new amendment, we are looking to introduce an additional category, which is category D. Now, when we look at it, we see a lot of heavy equipments. We see a lot of heavy duty vehicles that is being driven on our street. One of the reasons why the government may have to repair our roads every so often. So our roads...
So these sort of, and they're not new to the Bahamas per se, but certainly it's been an increase. We see, of course, the construction industry is booming and there's a requirement for so much more in that regard. So therefore, these new type, heavier duty vehicles that are on the streets, and you were saying that the wear and tear that they impose alone is cause for a reconsideration to the licensing fee structure for those.
Most definitely. We also would have taken a study with practices or best practices that is in other regions, and the department came up with a strategy basically led by our advisors on the way forward. on how we are going to target and achieve this initiative.
Now, this new D category, is it just aimed at heavy or the really huge vehicles that are now just obviously moving about on the streets, or will it be a reclassification of all vehicles?
Category D will basically only be dealing with or aimed at heavier type of equipment, which there has been a change in category A and also category B. So persons who may have licensed their vehicles currently or in the past, they may have noticed that they would have paid a particular fee for registration. And the proposed new price, they may question and say, why am I paying additional, right? But once again, I want to speak to that. It is due to studies that was done in other regions, and we were looking for what is practical and what is best for our region and our country.
Right, absolutely, and to reflect growth, obviously, and what's on the streets now. Now, many are arguing because people have not been spoken to about this, and as you said, an amendment. So obviously, that amendment has not happened as yet, but certainly this obviously is on the table. Many are not sure about what the Department of Road Traffic is aimed at doing. So therefore, they're quite angry and upset, and are talking about what does this new additional burden means? What do you want to say to the motorists out there who perhaps have missed what has been just an introduction of and a broadening of what's on the streets of the country right now?
I would like to say to the motorists that the government of the Bahamas has your best interests at heart. They are not looking to impose any new tax. They are not looking to impose any additional burden on the backs of the Bahamian people. But we have to be honest with ourselves, right? Moving in a new direction, moving forward, there are some things that we would have to look at in order to make things better for motorists and for the country at large.
Any idea what that new fee or the new fees would look like for this new category?
That I cannot speak to at this particular moment. That will be driven by either someone of a higher authority who will speak to that. But for now, I leave that as is.
Yes. Now, I want to bring in, of course, I'll come back to the Department of Road Traffic, but let's look at the Port Department. Captain Wright, you appeared on this show recently to talk about also new rules and regulations that are to govern the harbor. But I know since the U.S. Ambassador Herschel Walker sounded the alarm about jet ski operations and how unsafe they are for U.S. residents and visitors, that a lot of meetings have been taking place. The Ministry of Transport has been quite busy and stepped up in this regard. What can you tell us this evening?
What I can say is that you are correct. We have been meeting and fleshing out different strategies to combat any unwarranted activity within the water sports industry, specifically the jet skis. What we are doing is we will use technology to assist with enforcement. This technology will be able to start from the booking to the tracking to things like geofencing, straight to the end of the ride.
Well, that sounds interesting. Slow down a little bit. Technology how? So you're saying from now, well, I guess obviously this too will be amended so that it's an official policy and law. You are saying that moving forward, whomever it is that want to experience a jet ski ride will have to book through online means?
That is correct. Whether it's, you can still walk up, there will be kiosks, but the intent is to use technology through online means and a particular app to book.
And then how do you track during? Is it going to be cameras mounted on the jet skis? Or how is this going to look?
Each jet ski will have the tracking device that you'll be able to track the ride by. We're also looking at the use of CCTV. That will aid in any unwarranted activity as well.
What, is this to weed out those who are undesirable? Because if, you know, when this was really sort of after the announcement from the U.S. ambassador, we heard the jet ski operators and the association say, listen, the majority of us are upstanding people. We value this industry. We work hard for it. We've invested heavily in it. But there are some who've been permitted to operate who have no rights being out there on any of the beaches operating that are continuing to operate. Captain Wright, how do you address that? Are you going to clean the industry?
Yes, but I won't use the phrase that they are permitted. The majority of the operators at the rotation points, whether it's Goodman's Bay, Sandals, or Paradise Island, are upstanding men and women who use this as their livelihood to take care of their families. There are those who from time to time damage the industry when they slip in, slip out they're not regulated by the port. So the brush is that just jet skis, but they're not the regulated operators. We're using, as I indicated, technology to find out who these people are and to be able to monitor the beaches in a more efficient and effective manner.
Mm-hmm. Have this thought and idea been put to the jet ski operators as yet? What's their response in terms of having their jet skis tracked, in terms of the online registering and even right there on the beaches?
They want law and order. They're tired of being broad brush as bad actors, and they support it once they understand the entire program and how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, it's intended that they will even make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So they want the best for themselves and the family and ultimately the country.
Yes, and the industry that serves them. I want to ask you, Deputy Comptroller Wilson, there are some new regulations that are about to come on stream in the Department of Road Traffic, January 2027. Let's talk about that, something to do with titling or titles.
Okay, so actually what that is about, come January 1st, 2027, every importer of a vehicle, be it individual or be it a dealership that brings in a vehicle, that vehicle at the port of entry will be titled. Road Traffic, in collaboration with the Custom Department, we are looking to achieve this initiative. So the owner at that time will be presented with an electronic title And when they choose to present themselves to the road traffic department for licensing, that vehicle then will be either transferred or turned over in their respective names, and they will be issued with a hard copy title. Now, when we look at this titling at the port of entry, we are looking to eliminate the amount of fraud that is being taken place.
Mm-hmm.
We are looking to eliminate the amount of stolen vehicle that is that could be entering our country, and we are also looking.
How about lemons? Will this kind of help single out and identify just vehicles that are not even roadworthy?
Most definitely, most definitely. So there is a criteria, right, on the importation of certain vehicles. They have to be within a particular year. But this title at the port of entry, like I would have mentioned, right, it also helps us to create a national database, right, in terms of having note of every vehicle that enters our country and to know exactly who the owners are.
Yes, and now, Captain Wright, any timeline for this sort of, I guess, reinforcing in the sea sports and the tourism experience on the seas that you referred to earlier?
The next registration period for commercial watercraft will be in December. So it is intended to build up to that date and implement these items during that period.
A lot happening in the Ministry of Transport, of course. We will continue to follow and see if this is only a part of what's going on in the overall overhaul in the various departments and sectors in the Ministry of Transport. We will continue to follow it for you, bring you the information so that there is clarity. So many people, Mr. Wilson, are quite up in arms about all of this, and so I hope they are a little clearer tonight in terms of the increases or new fees that are to be introduced to the Department of Road Traffic. I thank you, gentlemen, very much. Deputy Controller of the Department of Road Traffic, Marvin Wilson, and the Controller of the Port Department, Bern Wright. Thank you very, very much, gentlemen. Thank you for being here. When we come back, I get the response from the Hot Topics panel on this, and also PMH A&E flooded over the weekend. That's right. We talk about that as well. It's coming up.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash, Superwash's newest spokesmodel, and I'm here to tell you about Superwash's large capacity washers and dryers for all your big loads.
I know I see that Charlie Banana coming here just now.
Luckily, it's also big enough for me to hide it.
I thought he was right over here where these large capacity washer and dryers is. They're big enough now to handle your big loads, you know. Yeah, like your comfort on your blanket. But just look at us. Somebody forget to turn on the dryer. Oh, stop! Help! You hear something? Yeah, that's the sound of clean. Superwash washes you, process you, and entertains you 24/7.
Dirt from the playground? Check. Snacks from the sofa? Double check. Don't let today's fun become tomorrow's permanent stain. Chlor-Alkali Stain Remover works fast to lift dirt and grease with the power of bleach you trust. Just spray, wipe, and wash for a brilliant white every time. Don't just get clean, get Chlor-Alkali Clean.
Did you know that when you shop at cbsbahamas.com, you can see directly into our vendors' warehouses? What that means is even if we only have a dozen of an item available in store, you can order virtually as many as you want directly from our vendors and have it delivered to your doorstep in just 10 to 14 days. You don't have to worry about shipping, imports, duties, or any of the hard stuff. Our back order program is unique, and it's only at cbsbahamas.com.
1 grand, 2 grand, 3 grand, 10 grand. It's the sound of money, man. If you're trying to win, then get to listening. So 103.5, sound of money's now live.
Making money, it's all about the sound of money, baby.
It's all about the sound of money, baby.
It's all about the sound of money.
That's the sound. It's all about the sound.
The Sound of Money is coming soon to 103.5 The Beat. Listen close and guess the amount of bills and walk away with up to $10,000. 3 times a day, starting soon. Powered by Island Luck.
Running out of space? We've got room for that. Welcome to Skyline Storage, your trusted self-storage solution. Skyline Storage offers units from 5x10 to 10x30, climate controlled or standard dry. Perfect for home or business. Located in Westfield Commerce Park, Western New Providence. Your belongings stay safe with gated access and 24/7 surveillance starting at $175 a month. Reserve, pay, and move in online. No phone calls, no paperwork. Visit SkylineStorage.com. Skyline Storage. Storage made simple.
Response. Listen, welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in this evening. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to bring in the Hot Topics panel because we have a lot to get to. We actually were discussing during the break did you all see that amount of water that was settled in A&E? Just jokes, eh? But in any event, welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Beyond the Headlines contributors, Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, Howard Johnson. Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Bahamas. Johnson.
He can't hear. You guys, Howard cannot hear. Let's move this along, and maybe if you go out and come back in, but let's just jump right in.
No sound. There you go.
Yes, okay, we can hear you.
Now.
Good evening to you. Gentlemen, your thoughts and response to Road Traffic Department. They said, listen, they're really trying to sort of reintroduce a culture of safety and, of course, law and orders, and to have the road traffic laws reflect how the streets look in 2026 and beyond. Therefore, the new category of vehicles that will be introduced once the amendment happens in Parliament and is passed. And then, of course, you all heard of what's going to be taking shape on the waters as it relates to jet ski operations and operators. Your thoughts, gentlemen, on what's on tap in the Ministry of Transport?
Well, Shanique, you got to be careful when you say you want the laws to reflect 2026 and beyond, because what the road looks like 2026 and beyond. Because, yeah, if you're going to do these things, and I heard all of the things that the gentleman, the assistant controller said that they're doing in road traffic, and to reflect, as you said, the new operations on the street. I'll wait to see how they all play out, but then they both got to match each other, because with the various restrictions, and there is some new costs that is coming on the Bahamian people. Yes, truly, the roads must reflect these new costs. We've got to see better road signage on the road, more kept. We've got to see.
But you heard him say that these new, these heavier vehicles put a real strain on the roads, and this is why we see all the potholes. And the minute something a pothole is fixed, then what happens? I mean, a second later, it seems as though that appears again. And just so much because of these vehicles are a different weight category entirely.
Well, obviously, you've got to have different licensing fees for various vehicles that have different weight. And you see it especially when you come to the roundabout where these heavy vehicles, be it dump truck, fuel truck, or whatever other cement truck, whatever else there are, when they turn the roundabout, they kind of wrinkle the road. If you notice a number of these roundabouts, even right here by Ministry of Works, as you come around, you see the wrinkles. That's from the weight of the heavy truck on the tar, yes. And so, yes, we need to kind of compensate for that so we can always, once we compensate for it, then we'll be able to go back and repair these roads in a timely manner. Again, but there are some other things that must come along with that.
Mm-hmm. Is Howard there? Leslie, jump in. You guys can let Howard come back in, please.
You know, this has been an ongoing problem in our country for the last 50, 60 years. Bahamians driving the way they want to drive. There's no rules or regulations for most of them. Just this afternoon, I was coming down on University Drive on one of focal trucks. I mean, this big old long truck full of fuel. In fact, past my car, almost in front of the sports center, and the police station right up the street, and he overtook me.
And they speed.
I was shocked.
They drive so
this guy,
carelessly.
you know, there's this big tanker, probably got about 50,000 gallons on it, and he's overtaken. And then you see the big trucks on the road every morning, they would overtake you, especially the cement trucks, the fellas with the sand and everything.
But whatever happened to the idea of them operating in, for example, let's say between 8 and whatever time in the morning?
That's unrealistic.
I
know that's a law that we had many years ago.
Yeah.
So you shut down whole construction and operation businesses day.
You go and deliver whatever is needed for a construction site, Ellington. You go and deliver that overnight. That is why it operates that way.
The concrete don't go like that.
No, it don't work like that.
The concrete.
That can't work.
You know, when a concrete got
that is impractical.
It always don't work in the Bahamas. It always can't work in the Bahamas.
That is impractical.
Okay, meanwhile, though, these guys drive very recklessly on the streets. You have these big, heavy vehicles overtaking and driving at speeds they should not be driving at, and then it's an issue. No response.
Well, look at the roundabout, the Six Lake roundabout. How many accidents we have there? Every week there's another accident. Someone is coming around the curve with those big trucks doing 30 miles an hour. The fella can't really make the turn, and he hits someone, or he goes.
No,
you know,
I think it's unfair to put it on big trucks. I see a lot of people, and I mean in some of the small
cars,
in the small and the medium cars. I mean, some people driving some expensive cars, nice cars. People just don't know how to use the road. Plain and simple.
Well,
people don't know how to the road signs.
They don't know how to use roundabouts. For example, those big vehicles at a roundabout, you cannot. I've learned this. You cannot drive right next to them as they are turning.
You should not because they need more space as they turn, even at intersections when they must turn in or out of an intersection.
Why is it that Bahamians need this lesson over and over? And mind you, like I said, I've had to determine.
Because half of them on the road, Bahamians with any license. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But behaviors, half of them ain't got no license.
But to mention what Leslie talked about just 2 days ago, Shanique, at the junction of Carmichael Road and Milo Butler Highway, I witnessed something that got me in shock to this day. We have a new breed of Bahamians in this country driving that I'm not familiar with. So I was on Milo Butler Highway heading south, and I'm waiting for the light to change. The light changed, and believe you me, I was the second car to come out of Milo Butler Highway to enter Carmichael Road. The light changed, and you believe the cars on Carmichael Road continue coming. I was, and to the point I started to blow, and I started to go around the car in front of me.
They don't stop.
I had to catch the amber light because the cars on Carmichael never stopped.
No. My business that too.
You know, Howard,
I don't go there.
I wish we had more patrol cars out there.
That's
but,
little lady out there.
but
I don't go there.
What it is?
Little lady. That's what it is. I don't go there.
Shanique, you mentioned
You can't pay me to go to my
You mentioned patrol cars in the U.S. They have camera lights and all of it. I think the Bahamas government need to make this investment. You're going to be repaid. This investment is going to pay off. Put cameras that feeds into the police station. When people run the red light, boom, your ticket is printed. It is sent to you on however email or whatever. Whenever
You know something, Minister Lundy.
We must do it.
Leslie, please don't say that. Leslie, don't say that.
I recommend that highly.
Minister Leon Lundy, your officers were here just a moment ago talking about what is new in the Ministry of Transport.
That should be one of them.
Introduce that.
Please.
Make that one of the new things. Howard, your thoughts?
Well, Shanika, I wanted to go back a little bit to the beginning. I know I missed some of it, but I think that, you know, as far as these fees and stuff are concerned, there has to be a balancing act. I mean, we can't fee implement our way into modernization, but we also do need to modernize what we have going on with our transportation and safety framework in the Bahamas, right, with road traffic. But the thing about it is, I believe that communication is always essential. It appears from the news stories that the Bahamian public feels from social media that a lot of this was snuck in as a part of this amendment thing during the budget, right? And so they're not seeing where there was openness and transparency, where they are now going through pain points to have to bear another fee on their backs. And so I believe that it is always the best thing to do to communicate. There should have been a public education campaign that preempted this information coming out. And it just seems as if it was just thrust upon the Bahamian people. And that's why so many people are upset on social media, where I see them talking about it. And it just seems as if that 90%, you know, that 90% of the people who make up the lower socioeconomic end of the country, right, is always bearing the brunt of whatever fees and whatever taxes that the government has to do to raise money, to modernize systems. And we just need to make it more clear, more apparent, and as early as possible, inform the public so they can brace themselves.
Audio sorted out so that when if it's something he's saying, I can interject, that he can respond to, because I'd like to know where in the United States there is consultation when there are new fee structures. Now, for those who are driving heavy-duty vehicles, I want to know, you cannot remain the same in pay. You hear about the damage that it's causing on our roads. So therefore, that's a new category, and I think it's a necessary one. More than likely, there'll be businesses picking that up, picking up that expense, because those belong to businesses.
Yes.
They are part of the operational process of big business.
Big business.
And so the thing is, the Bahamians talking about, let's say, for example, it was one thing I did not bring up in that discussion. That was, Howard, something that they are saying whenever you go for, say, for example, an inspection for ahead of the license, and if you fail the inspection, that fee that you paid will remain with the department, and when you return after making whatever necessary changes, well, that's a new fee. Okay. The thing is, try and get everything sorted out. It's only fair. Well, get whatever it is on your vehicle sorted out before you go to the Department of Road Traffic.
Well, Shanique, what I saw in the news article was that there's, if you fail that inspection, there's no refund.
That's what I just said.
There's no refund. So
well, you've used the service.
Point.
So
that's another thing.
Yes, Howard. It's the same. It's Howard. It's the same thing. That's just what I said. You pay a new fee when you return after making the changes to your vehicle. Howard, it's too much little foolishness on the street that has not changed over the years.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. All I'm saying is that has to be part and parcel. And Shanique, let me clarify for you. There's always public education campaigns going on here in the United States. Every time there's a change to some local ordinance or to some state law or to some county commission thing,
but
mailbox it. No, hold on. Let me explain it.
Howard, you can explain that all you want. You know why we ain't gonna buy it? Bahamians too like slackness. You understand?
I'm not saying that the fees shouldn't be raised, you know.
Until the government gets a PPA with a private entity.
I'm not disagreeing with the fees.
I'm
not disagreeing with the fees.
Howard, let's jump in.
But Howard,
go ahead.
Throughout Florida now and most of the states, the government has gone into PPPs with private companies
Absolutely.
for vehicles
Absolutely.
all through Florida now.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's what the government of Bahamas need to do. And the money is so there to be made, because how many Bahamians do you see anybody put on their turning signals? No one. No one.
No.
They run the
no.
red lights, especially
Yeah.
the taxi drivers and the jitney drivers.
I agree.
I mean, they
agree.
just run them. And
Right.
then last have you seen someone on a motorbike with a 300-pound damn woman on the back, holding a little 50-pound fellow in the front. Nobody got no helmet on. None.
I agree.
And
with
you
you.
got a
then the guy
baby in
trying to
between them
prance,
sometime.
And the
But-
guy
but
prancing,
Leslie,
right? And she twice the size of the vehicle.
With no helmet and no
Huh?
slippers. But Shanique, here's what I'm asking.
Only in the Bahamas you see this level of foolishness that
Okay.
goes on. But we have to move. We have to move on
Is that
quickly,
a
you
fee
all. We
problem,
have to
or
move
is
on
that a-
because
a
there's no
enforcement
enforcement. Well,
problem?
now Leon Lundy enforce. Government of the Bahamas
Right.
enforce.
Right.
You've been elected to
Right.
govern and take this nation forward. Speaking of
Yes.
progress, that's what you've been elected to do. Go and
Thank
make
you.
the hard decisions. Let's move on. Meanwhile, when quality of life, a company which y'all doing, people have nothing to say. So therefore,
Absolutely.
just bring it all together. Let it all move simultaneously
Yes.
forward. Parts of Princess Margaret Hospital, speaking of, underwater after torrential rainfall swept across the capital on Sunday. There it is. Look at the images. Images obtained by Eyewitness News show
Yeah, but where did
floodwaters
the water
moving
come
into
from?
the accident and emergency department, including the trauma bay. But the Public Hospitals Authority says the water did not come from the roof or ceiling. Instead,
So where did it come from?
listen, you can hear right now. See there, look, they had to wade through that. Officials say an extraordinary buildup of floodwaters outside the facility entered through the ambulance bay doors. The PHA says staff acted quickly to clean the area, relocate patients, and ensure the continued delivery of care. Barriers have also been installed at the affected entrance, while access for emergency vehicles has been temporarily diverted. Hospital officials say they will work with relevant agencies to help prevent similar flooding during future severe
Just put
weather
wells there.
events.
That's all you do. Sink some wells.
Do what?
Sink the wells in that area.
Gentlemen,
Because
as you all know, Leslie, let me just say this, then you jump in, but however you want. You all know the accident and emergency department just recently had renovations. In fact, they
massive, over $5 million.
Yes, sir. Just last November, meaning just a few months ago.
Beautiful place.
It was done.
Very
And
beautiful.
that project, by the way, began in 2019.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, are you all too weak to even respond? How the accident and emergency had the level of water and flooding inside?
I spent a lot of time in the hospital recently with my brother Tyrone, who was up there, especially in that section. Now remember, the road is graded somewhat to enable the vehicle to go the level of the floor in the hospital. In other words, they come down a little hill, about maybe 2 foot high, and then their bumper backs up to the wall. And of course, you then take the patient out. I don't understand yet. You know what happened? The water came from the hill. The water came from the hill by the water tower, come down, came from that hill again, going up, and the water swept from around East Street Hill, and actually on top of the hill that takes you back out to East Street. And that most of the water probably merged and just headed over there. It's incredible.
Shanique,
That's all I can think of. Now you have to put some wells there. Now I got to put 2 probably sink wells in the center of that area.
Okay, then is there proper
to catch the
drainage?
water.
Is there
The
proper drainage? in
There's no
place?
drainage there.
Shanique, I think we got to look at that for what it's worth. There got to be something that the engineers can look at for the future and put something into place.
Yeah, you have to.
But you got to understand what we experience. We experience a heavy, sudden downpour of water.
Was the rain that
All
brief?
of our streets were immediately flooded.
But you know, in East we didn't have
Give
no
me a
rain.
second. So what you have up from the water tower, coming down from that hill off of East Street, all of that is descending, and that water is rushing down. When it comes round there to go down, I think that's Elizabeth Avenue.
Yeah, down Elizabeth
to go-
Avenue.
The hospital
Shirley
now,
Street.
from the road, the hospital sinks down again.
Yeah.
So that's enough. So that water going wherever the lowest point is where water is headed. So when the hospital sink down, all of that rush of water from that hill comes and go right down there, and with a low door sills, that water is. Could understand how that water would rush in. Now they have to look at that. Now that they have finished all that renovation, that is something that they have got to look at mitigating so that it doesn't happen in the future. But it's understandably how that could have happened.
Wonderful job.
Yeah. And Shanique, we could stick a pin at any point in the past, right? Through any administration, and we could talk about the problems that have persisted with this hospital, right? We need a new hospital. We definitely need a new hospital in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Now, people will always come down on the side of whatever their political views and preferences are and talk about where it should be and where it shouldn't be, what you could do with this hospital we have now and what you can't do it, who should have fixed it and who didn't fix it. We could make all them political arguments, but they have nothing to do with what the Bahamas needs to do to move forward with healthcare. We need a new hospital. We can fix that hospital up and make it an auxiliary hospital or an extension to the new hospital that we built. But no matter what we do, whatever series of patchworks we do, whatever we try to do, this hospital cannot be the premier facility and institution of healthcare in our country for the public. For the public. I ain't talking about private hospitals. This cannot continue like this. We cannot say we are going to be a modern, growing, and progressive country and use that healthcare facility. We have to build a new one.
Howard, you are absolutely right. In fact, if you need a scripture to back up that little sermon just now, think about it during the break. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're going to take a break and come back right after this.
Mind you, don't supposed to be right there next to Administrative Works, you know. 50 acres right now.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madeira Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites. We offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats. This is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Weeks after the Flamingo Air tragedy shocked the nation, the search for answers is intensifying as investigators continue working to determine what caused the deadly crash. Jose Etienne has the story.
Some of the most critical evidence in the Flamingo Air crash investigation that could help explain what brought the aircraft down and claimed 10 lives on Independence Day. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority says both engines and other major components from the C-6 FLX aircraft are now in the hands of investigators. Those parts have been transported to a secure facility in Jacksonville, Florida, where specialists will carry out detailed and technical examinations. Additional analysis will also take place at the engine manufacturer's facilities in Alabama. Officials say the evidence will play a critical role as the investigation moves into its next phase, which will focus on determining exactly what happened in the moments before the country's deadliest aviation disaster. Investigators will now begin analyzing the evidence collected so far, including the condition of the wreckage, maintenance records, operational information, weather data, witness statements where applicable or available, and other material that can help reconstruct the flight. The findings from those examinations could prove pivotal as investigators work to identify any mechanical failures, operational issues, or other factors that may have contributed to the crash. While there is intense public interest in the case, officials caution that the investigation is expected to take about a year to complete, depending on its complexity and the evidence that continues to emerge. They also stress that the purpose of the investigation is to determine the cause of the accident and issue safety recommendations to help prevent future tragedies, not to assign blame or determine criminal liability. That distinction comes as Flamingo Air remains under intense scrutiny following the disaster. The airline's commercial operations continue to be suspended while questions persist about its safety record, which includes at least 14 publicly documented accidents and safety-related incidents over the past 2 decades. For the families of the 10 people who lost their lives and a country still searching desperately for answers, these examinations represent one of the most important steps yet toward understanding what exactly went wrong. For now, I'm Jose Etienne. Back to you, Janelle.
Well, you know, of course, that now investigation is taking on a second phase, as you saw the parts being flown into Jacksonville, Florida. Gentlemen, Leslie, Ellington, and Howard, I guess the meat of the investigation will happen, and that's expected to take some time. But gentlemen, just a quick response.
Well, of course, yeah, these things takes a lot of time. You hear them talk about how they're going to be going through the whole wreckage and reassembling things. And then not only in Jacksonville, Florida, but the engine is going to its manufacturer in Alabama. And so they're going to go through that and they can tell based on how the damage is, what really happened, and they can really study that and find out what went wrong with those engines. So it's a long process, and I'm hoping that we get a thorough investigation as to exactly what happened, what brought that plane down and caused the lives of those persons.
I'm not
yeah,
sure.
Shanique, for me, the families are going through their stages. Just as the investigation is going through its stages, the families are going through the 5 stages of grief. It's denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and acceptance. Those are the 5 stages of grief. So just as the investigation is going through stages, the family is going through some stages, and we just have to be sensitive to that. And I want us to keep them lifted up in the wings of prayer.
Yes,
and I also want them to understand, I want the family to understand that even when this investigation is over, you still have to go through the grief. Your loved ones aren't going to be brought back. So please keep a hold on your faith. Whatever you believe in, whoever you pray to, hold on to your faith, because that's all you're going to have left.
You know, it's such a tragedy that those precious family members still have to grieve for a long time. I understand now the bodies, or what left of them, have been flown out to the United States for proper identification and then come back here to the Bahamas. That's a very tough situation for grieving families to go through. I just want them to turn your Bible sometime to Psalm 46, verse 10. Just say, be still, know that I am God. That's who's going to guide you and protect you and enhance your life during these difficult times. Man can't help you in these kind of times. That's when you turn to your God and your Savior and look for His grace and His solace to pull you through this. And I wish you all Godspeed.
Amen, gentlemen. Amen. An immigration officer has been granted $1,000 bail after being accused of shoplifting $176 worth of items from Kelly's home store. 39-year-old Juan Gibson is accused of placing 3 queen sheet sets and a can of Lysol spray into a shopping bag and leaving the store without paying. Court documents allege he was stopped by store security after leaving the store and was arrested with the assistance of mall security and police. Gibson pleaded not guilty when he appeared before Assistant Chief Magistrate Shaka Seville. He is scheduled to return to court on September 16th. Now, gentlemen, what do you think is happening in immigration that this officer, and I'll tell you, I went to the very same, without knowing, I wasn't trying to be mischievous. I went there on Saturday, and some of the workers stopped me and say, oh, you're here to, this is where, and they show, three queen sheet sets, and said that allegedly, reportedly, the immigration officer had, considerable amount of money on him, but reportedly, allegedly, but this is, what happened. What are your thoughts, guys?
You sure one of the people that put that thing in the bag, that stuff in the bag?
No, they said he packed it. He pushed it in there.
Going camping or something. I don't know. You need all that stuff.
These sheet sets have like minimum 1,000 thread count.
Ooh.
So I guess that was
Egyptian cotton.
Some kind of some real that camping trip was a little elevated.
But when I heard that story, I didn't know how to fix myself. I kind of tried to want to work for him. Maybe he was on the phone and didn't even realize that he just walked outside and just passed the cash register.
Well, they said he was on the phone, in fact.
So, I can't see.
They could have given him a break.
With that kind of amount of funds on him, for him to go into shoplift $170-something, it's mind-boggling. And like you say, they did say that he was on the phone. It can happen.
But those sheets are, listen to me, y'all ever bought some sheet sets? There are 2 pillowcases, there's a fitted sheet, a flat sheet. I think that's minimum. But it comes packaged very, that bag must have been a good size. It's packaged big. It's a nice size.
Yeah, for him to go in Kelly's with all those cameras and to do that, I don't know. Maybe the phone conversation, he was distracted and just walked straight past and with no intention.
These things
I hope one of them even knew he was picking up. He ain't wig there.
What?
One of them sisters from the other place, he might have been picking up, put it in the damn bag, I just getting benefit.
One of them Jamaican girls, Leslie.
One of them Jamaican gals
you and Leslie back on this Jamaican gal,
who always make Bahamian men climb the walls. Y'all could talk foolishness.
No,
y'all really could talk
want to
foolishness.
quickly say, right? These are some bizarre things.
Yeah,
You're looking at a young
bizarre.
person who has a government job, who has a pocket full of money. You have a government job. You've been trained. You have a pocket full of money. And you're going to go and steal these things or just walk out. I don't know what it is, but it's bizarre. It is very bizarre.
It's really the
that things
thrill,
like this are happening.
But it's the thrill. It's the thrill of being able to walk out and get away with it.
No,
I can't accept that.
I know, but the thrill, because Shanique, like I said before, listen, you ain't need no thrills, man. Life is hard enough as it is for a black man, You don't need to go seek no thrills. Life is hard enough.
Pressure tall, I guess.
Yes.
I really, with a good conscience, can't go against the brother. I don't know, maybe he was going looking for them people who, legally, and they stepped on his back. The brother, I really feel for you, man. I honest. I hope you're married or I don't know this. I don't know what to tell you.
Leslie, that's good.
I'm just sorry it happened.
Yeah, good that you're so.
That's all I can say.
You're so understanding.
But I can't go against the brother.
Yeah, no, don't.
I can't go against.
No, don't.
Not with a good conscience.
It sounds like a man. Yeah,
I can't go against the brother.
Yeah, gentlemen, I thank you all so much. I just wanted to add that there because they say, Shanique, how we hear you talk about that? I said I just saw it. and so I will talk about it on Monday. So there you have it, Kellys. But thank you very much, Leslie Miller, Ellington Ferguson, and Howard Johnson. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, the senior, I guess, heads of department at the Ministry of Transport. Thank you all for being here this evening as well. And a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in. It's certainly been awesome having you hang out with me this hour. I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.